So good afternoon, Zylon.
Afternoon, Louise.
It's very nice to have you
Dewald,
here at the CRI symposium. It's nice that we could bump into you here and do this here. So please introduce yourself and tell us about the Roi.
Yeah, thank you. My name's Zylon McGaffin. I'm the executive director of the Roi Group. So most of our clients and most of the farming community know us for our citrus, but we're a bit more diversified in that. And big portion is the citrus nursery up in Lucentlands. We've got Cedarburg Tree Nursery down in the Western Cape and Citrus Dal. And then we've got our banana tissue culture lab in Lucentlands. And then we've also got what we call the Roi Multiplant, where we do all of our incubation, our new protocols on new crops, and some of our subcrops. So that's anything between mangoes, macadamias, passion fruit, guavas, dragon fruit.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's quite a variety.
Yeah, and there's been a whole lot in the past as well. And then we've got our recent addition to the group was the Roi Halls, which we're in a joint venture with Halls and Sons, which is our avocado clonal nursery in Nelspruit. And yeah, so that's us, and it's actually quite incredible that we're here this year at the Citrus Symposium celebrating 35 years for our citrus nursery.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think your nursery will, I can't speak for all the other subtropical things, which is also a whole other thing to discuss, but for citrus, your nursery is very much the cornerstone of the industry. And has developed like that, and it's incredible that it's been 35 years. Wow.
Yeah, I think we've been very fortunate. We've had some incredible clients that keep supporting us, and yeah, from our perspective, is just to give our clients the best quality plant with the service and having a relationship with our growers. So yeah, something's working. We've got a strong team underneath us. Our staff have been with us for a very long time. We actually celebrated 400 years worth of service at our Long Service Awards about 2 months ago. So
wow.
Yeah, it's all about.
Okay,
the
how many people? How many people does that 400 divide into approximately?
That 400 was actually, I speak under correction, about 18 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many is working at the company?
So at the Roi Nursery alone, I think we're about 115. So yeah, there's lots of. Yeah, I think a big strength of our business is our staff, and then obviously our customers.
Yes, indeed. So tell us about your customers? Are they all over South Africa, or are they beyond South Africa's borders?
Yeah, so with the diverse portfolio, for argument's sake, our banana lab, I'd say 40% of our customer base is South African, and then 60% is international. In terms of the citrus, I would say 90% is local South Africa, and because it's based in Lucentlands, we can't really send into the Eastern Cape, Western Cape and Northern Cape. Hence the strategic decision to bring Cedarburg into the business.
I wondered about that. Oh,
Is that about CBS?
Yeah, CBS and African greening.
Okay.
So yeah, so now we can't send trees into Botswana. There's a new restriction there. So fortunately, we've got Cedarburg, which we now supply into Botswana. So it gives us a bit of versatility from a citrus perspective. I
know about people that took some seedlings from Cedarburg up to Namibia as well.
Yeah.
What was the other one you said that you've got? Is like
Halls?
No. It's like a test.
Multi-plant.
It's like a test block you've got with all your varieties, I believe.
No. So it's not a test block, but it's our incubation center.
Yes, that was the word I was looking for.
As soon as we want to look at diversifying crops, we've got a strong technical team there that works on new protocols, developing the IP, and as soon as we're comfortable that we can take it commercial, and we build a business case around it, then we go to our board and put a proposal forward, and that's exactly what happened with our macadamia nursery, our mango nursery, as well as our clonal avocado nursery in Nelspruit.
You also mentioned passion fruit. All of a sudden, passion fruit has just been, you hear whispers on the wind
Yes.
of passion fruit, but everybody's very secretive about what's going on with it.
Yeah, it's an interesting industry. There's been some very successful growers in there. And I think the secret to that is the access to markets. And also a lot of the successful farmers actually have their own selections. So We would then go and propagate that specific variety of their own selection. We'd send it through shoot-tip grafting to clean it of any viruses. We've got certain structures for their genetics, and then we multiply and make plants for those specific growers alone.
Okay, so you just make the plants. You don't own the IP on those.
No. We don't have any management rights on IP or anything like that. No.
Okay. So why are the people so secretive about passion fruit?
I think it's perhaps
It's passion, Dewald.
Yeah.
It's passion.
Yeah, I want to be part of that passion. I want to find out what's going on.
I think I heard someone say the other day, if you know this project's going to make money, don't tell anyone, because then everyone jumps in.
Yes.
So I think but I also believe it. My personal opinion, it's niche, and certain climates are suited for it. But yeah, it's capital intensive. You got to put up structures, trellising, net. But what's nice about that is it's a high cash flow business. So within a year, you're in production.
Yeah, those things grow like weeds.
Yeah.
Of the fruits that you've mentioned avocados, you've mentioned citrus, you've mentioned mangoes. Those are all, we as South Africans tend to think of those largely as export. Maybe mangoes also more local, but bananas. Banana seems to be like a little bit of the odd one out. Do we export bananas from South Africa much?
No.
Or is it mostly internal?
No, it's an interesting and a little fact that we're quite proud of is that every banana you eat, that plant comes through de Roi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now I'll remember that next time I have a banana.
Most of your bananas that you eat in South Africa are South African grown, and then there's times where bananas are brought in from Mozambique.
Okay.
So for the South African growers, the biggest competition is Mozambique farmers.
Okay. Is it a certain time of year that we get stuff from Mozambique?
No, it's generally all year round.
Okay.
But Mozambique's got relative better growing conditions in general.
Okay.
High humidity, higher heat units, less wind. So the Mozambican farmers tend to be a bit of a threat to South African farmers.
Okay. Get it.
But how big is the banana industry in South Africa? Because I remember when I was at school and the Sharks were called the Banana Boys. But I don't know how much bananas. The girls used to walk around with bananas, those cheerleaders before the games. But I wonder how much bananas is still left in Natal.
Yeah, what is the size of the industry? I know it's not your place, but maybe you can comment.
To be honest, I couldn't give you exact hectareage.
No.
But bananas tend to be grown on the south coast in Natal. There's a little bit in Pongola coming up now, but winters are a little bit colder there. So in Natal, the big risk is normally wind. So if you drive around Natal, you'll see they try and plant them in areas where they're slightly protected.
Okay.
But the biggest growing area for bananas and probably the most successful is the Malala Kamati region, and then you've got the Kippersol, you've got very successful farmers that side. A little bit in Zanin, Lavubu side as well. So it's more your tropical regions in the country.
And it's also a bit in Eswatini, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's not South Africa though.
Yeah.
So that is now from now on I will remember every time I eat a banana, de Roi.
Yeah.
But I know very little about bananas, but the one thing I remember hearing is that a banana plant walks.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah. So there's a saying for it. I think it's called the walking plantation.
Yes.
So essentially what happens is as the banana grows, you plant the banana, grows out, and then you've got suckers, the next generation coming through, and you train your field that way. So as you harvest, you cut down and you wait for the next shoot to grow out.
So they must all go in the same direction.
Yeah,
like an army.
Yeah, to try and keep it as uniform as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in Zimbabwe in May, there's a lot of rural growers there. They explained how it works. Is that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that your main one, as soon as it bears fruit, they chop it off, that one dies off.
Yeah.
And then the next sucker becomes the bearing
That's
plant.
it. And then as that one's growing, the third generation's lining up again.
Okay. And how long can you keep them like that?
Generally, a rule of thumb, I mean, it depends on soils and climate and all of that, but generally work on about a 10-year cycle.
Wow, okay,
Yeah,
so they last that long.
Replant roughly every 10 years, but it varies from grower to grower and obviously production. If the grower's production maintains, they'll try and push it longer, and if they see production's dropping, they might end up replacing it sooner.
Okay. Back to Roi. 35 years. And you've mentioned all the different things that you've, all the different types of stuff that you're growing and different industries you're serving. What looking down the road, what's happening?
Next?
What are you guys doing? Are you planning to do anything new or expand on any particular line? What
we've got an exciting opportunity coming up now where we're actually diversifying a little bit away from plant propagation, but we're moving actually into the blueberry industry.
Okay.
And actually not propagating the plants, but we're looking at farming them ourselves.
Okay.
with our team and our staff. So the citrus, I think everyone's got a bit of a feel that the citrus, avocado, macadamia industries have taken a bit of a knock over the last 3 years. So for us, we've built a really strong skill set within our staff, and to maximize our staff, and as well as the opportunity that lies with blueberries in our specific region and the timing of the market. We feel there's scope for an exciting business there. So as we speak, we're busy developing the first phase of blueberries, and we start planting end of October. And
Interesting.
near the nursery in Letsitele?
on the facility.
Oh, on the facility.
So we look forward to having you there sometime soon.
I was just about to say, we would love to come and see. So thank you for jumping in there ahead of us and saying, please come. So you heard that?
Yeah, and are those your own varieties, or are you going to be growing other IP varieties?
Yeah, so we're going to focus on the growing and call it the farming side of it. And right now we'll be buying plants and genetics from a third party.
Okay, may you mention who?
Yeah. So we'll be buying genetics through the Fall Creek portfolio, and we're looking at a range called the Sequoia range. So,
Please, know them. Yes.
Yeah. So
Oh, that's exciting.
So, if we may touch on again, if you're not allowed to say, so with this whole Sunworld Citrigold acquisition that recently happened, will you guys now be also doing the nursery for Sunworld in South Africa?
So I think although Citrigold, the transaction's a bit of a bittersweet transaction, in the sense Citrigold's always been part of the group, and to see them go is sad, but we also understand that Sunworld will exponentiate that business. So from our side, we've always had an arm's length relationship with any of our subsidiaries. And I think perhaps that's maybe the success of our businesses. Every business runs its own course, and so we've always been licensed to make Citrigold cultivars as well as the CGA varieties, and there's a whole lot, Star Grows. So we haven't been restricted in the past, and I don't see us being restricted in the future with Sunworld, as I believe we'll have a good relationship going forward. So we're just an independent nursery making trees for clients. So at the end of the day, it's the clients having the relationship with the IP managers, and once they've got approval for hectares or trees, then they come to us and we can make the trees for them.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's a good answer. It's an interesting answer. And as things change, as you say, you'll see how it goes from here
I was
going
more
forward.
wondering if they might start doing grapevines and stone fruit as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's popped up in my mind, but I think for now we haven't got that on the cards. But not to say that's not something we can venture into the future. I think there's always any opportunity we will really have a look at.
Well, the thing is, we had the opportunity to speak to both Abes van Rooyen and also to David Margolis, and it's so exciting to have this massive injection of capital and confidence into South Africa from the States, into the South African agricultural and particularly into the agricultural, the IP sector.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And let's see where it goes. Maybe you guys will be involved. It'll be
absolutely
fantastic.
It's exciting. I think at the end of the day, the agricultural space needs to keep up with the market, and the more exciting genetics, and at the end of the day, it's also making sure that the farm is profitable. So if there's better genetics out there, higher yielding, better eating quality, it's at the end of it's a good result for our growers. And if our growers make money, they employ more people, they expand, our economy is stronger, and all our little businesses around it start thriving.
Yes.
Indeed. So, Roi, you mentioned the different crops, the different types of seedlings you make. Can you, I mean, it's always difficult to quantify the size of a business. I mean, if you're so many hectares, or if you're a grower at so many hectares, or you produce so much, or whatever, do you have like an annual seedling count that you make, or is there anything that you can give us to somehow quantify that?
Yeah, it's difficult to give an exact amount because every little industry fluctuates.
Yeah.
And so we in full production with the citrus nurseries. The two combined were at about 2.4 million trees a year.
Okay, sure.
That you
That'll keep
supply,
you busy.
That goes out to be planted.
Yeah, a year.
Okay.
And I think the industry cut about 6.5 to 7 million buds. So it gives you a bit of a perspective on market share. And then in terms of avocados, we're north of the 200,000 trees a year, which is nice. Bananas, we make between 6 to 10 million plants a year,
Jeez,
depending on market.
So now you know.
Yeah.
Every time you eat that banana.
Yeah. It's good to know.
Yeah. And our mango and macadamia portfolio is slightly smaller. It's about 150,000 to 100,000.
Okay.
So it fluctuates as depending what crop is in demand for the year. And then we've got another medicinal business where we farm scaletium, but that varies purely on demand.
What is scaletium?
Yeah, we had to do with scaletium for that one video series we made where we went down to George for the two ladies.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yes, the
a-
medicinal plant. That's right, I remember.
What's the Afrikaans name? Is it kankerborsini? No?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't know the
But, yeah.
Afrikaans name. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a succulent from the Karoo.
Yes.
Indigenous.
Yes, okay,
And-
interesting.
Yeah, so it's got some good health benefits.
Yes.
And
Yes, okay. And so you guys are going to be celebrating your 35th anniversary in September. What's on the cards? What are you planning?
so it's the 30 year for the lab. That's on Thursday night. So we've invited our suppliers and our customers, and I think it's just it's an evening to celebrate just the milestone we've reached and where we see our business is going forward, and again just to get everyone around the table and socialize and
So important.
and appreciate where everyone is in the space.
And that's happening in Tanin.
Yeah, in Letsateli.
Let's tell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close by.
No, it's not the same thing.
Okay.
And that's hugely exciting. Well, thanks for coming to speak to us. Is there anything you'd like to end with? Anything?
No.
Any-
Just thanks for the opportunity, and by all means, please come visit us.
Oh,
up
no,
in the
we will.
north there.
we would love
And-
we would love to come.
We'd love to take you through the facility and see
Yes.
what your grafting skills are like and how you handle the greenhouses.
That'll be fun.
And taste the blueberries.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we hope to visit you soon.
No.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks very much. Appreciate
Thanks a
it.
lot.
Cheers.